and welcome to The Kitchen Knitter in her sewing room. My name is Suzanne, the Kitchen Knitter, and this is my little place on YouTube where I share with you what I've been sewing. I live in Cheshire in the northwest of England with my husband, and there's not been a lot of stitching done. We've been away, family have come to visit the children, grandchildren, and then we've visited the grandchildren, and it's been lovely, but when they come to visit, this room becomes a bedroom. That's a sofa bed over there, and all my sewing paraphernalia has to be decommissioned. So anyway, but it's fine. So what I think in my last podcast I showed you the fabric for these, and I think I've put these on Instagram when it's been on the mannequin. So I'm going to apologise in advance for this chair. It is so creaky. It's a lovely chair. It's a very, very comfortable chair, but I'm conscious of it being a bit creaky. I'll try not to move too much. So this is the Ellis dress from Merchant & Mills, and I've bought the fabric from Merchant & Mills. It's an Indian block cotton, and I think it's called Summer Garden, I think. And it's just perfectly, as all my sewing is, perfectly plain. I don't line it. I just use bias binding to edge the sleeves. That is not a great match, but it was all I had at the time, and I just wanted to get the thing finished. I'm using up my lockdown bias binding. I sent for some from, it must have been Amazon, and I got this bag full of not the best bias binding. It's quite coarse and random colours, but anyway, I'm slowly but surely using them up. So it's not a bad contrast, and I've put interfacing on the facing this time on this one, but I don't know, I don't think it needs it. It makes it I think makes it too stiff, and I will put a button and a thread loop on there. I don't do the one that they suggested in the pattern. It's far too fiddly, so I just do that, and a button and a thread loop. And so that's one summer dress in my grungy colours. And I think I showed you this one as well, which is another Indian block cotton from Merchant & Mills, and I've actually worn this a couple of times. And this again is another Ellis dress with another just biased seams, and I've put a button on the back and a thread loop. So again, I wear it with leggings underneath or an underdress, because it's a bit terribly see-through, but it's with the light behind you. So I think this one's called Fairy Tale. It's a pretty pattern. It's got little birds on and flowers and things. Lovely. So that's another dress. And then I think I showed you this last time when I just cut it out. So this is a dress. The pattern is by Liberty, called the Bella Tea dress, and I just made it out of some Pima cotton that I got from Guthrie and Garney. And this is way out of my comfort zone, way out. But we were going to get sort of into character, if you like, for the VE Day celebrations. We had a little event in the afternoon, tea and cake, and there was some people came with memorabilia and things like that. It was an overwhelming success. It was a lovely afternoon. But I wore this dress, which is it's fitted. You do a top and then a bottom, but it is quite fitted. So it's not really my style. I don't know when I'll ever wear it again, but it's a very pretty fabric, and it's got a zip. I'm not going to show you up close because it is not the best fitted zip in the world, but it's one of those sort of underneath the arm, which I struggle to get into sometimes. But anyway, I got it on. I was in it, but I wore it with a cardigan, which was a sort of a tealy cardigan. And I felt the part. I felt all right, but it was. This is not something I would wear. Should be a little button fastening there on the collar, but I just left it open. I found it would be a bit constricting. I don't know, but so. And it's gathered, and there's darts back and front, and yeah, it's nice. Nice. That's the Liberty Bella tea dress. Again, but not my style. Like I said, I'll put it away, and it'll come out for another, I don't know, afternoon thing. And if you can see on the mannequin there, I've started another Ellis dress. I think it's because I only bought a couple of meters of the linen, but I'm back into my linen now, which is I'm back in my comfort zone. I do every now and again move out of my comfort zone, but I very quickly scuttle back in, I must admit. So I'm using this fabric. It's linen from Merchant and Mills. I've made a blue version of this. It's with the blue, where the green is, it's blue, and I think it's called Forager, I think, but it's gorgeous green. I'm into green at the moment. So this is the bottom bit that I've got to put on here. I'll either do that this afternoon or at the weekend maybe, because I'm at work tomorrow. And my son is coming up. He lives in Hampshire, but he's coming up to meet up with a couple of old school friends. And so he's coming Thursday, Friday, going home on Saturday morning. And my younger daughter and she's coming up. She's got to go to Chester for some reason. And so she's coming Wednesday night and staying Thursday night and going back down to London where she lives on Friday. So I've got them coming and going. Again, this will have to be dismantled. My son will sleep in here, and my daughter will have the other spare bedroom. It'll be lovely to see them, but I think they'll be coming and going. So our younger daughter Olivia, we haven't seen her since Christmas. We FaceTime and talk on Onion, but we haven't seen her since Christmas. So, and she's always jetting off to places for work as well. Anyway, so I probably won't be able to do any more sewing now until well, Saturday, Sunday. But I have got. I'm taking some time off work when my husband goes on a cycling trip with his friends. He's going to Ireland. Don't be too impressed. I mean, think last of the summer wine, and they're about there. So he's going off for a week. So I've decided to take the 3 days off that I work in a week, and I'm going to be home alone for a week. Oh, I can't wait. And I do this. I think, well, I'm going to do this, and I'll do that, and I don't do any of it. But I'm going to have a little trip to Knutsford. I know that I'm going to do that because Knutsford's not that far away from me. It's a lovely, lovely town. The writer Elizabeth Gaskell is buried there. Her husband was the Reverend William Gaskell, I think he was called, William Gaskell, at the United Reformed Church in Knutsford. He also had a what do you call it, a living? Whatever. But anyway, at a church in Manchester as well, on Union Street. However, there's that little history lesson. But in Knutsford they have very good charity shops, and there used to be a lovely, lovely wool shop there. Pearl and Plain, I think it was called. It's a wedding dress shop now. Anyway, Susie Watson has opened a shop in Knutsford. Not recently, I think it's been there a couple of years now, but I've just never been able to get to it. And I'm going to pay that little shop a visit. And then I got something through the post this morning that the Cotswold Company are opening a shop in Knutsford in the next few days. Well, it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? So that's a little excursion I've planned. I had thought about going to Baslow, which is not far from Chatsworth House, and there is a shop there called Simply Pale, and I would like to pay that. It's all vintage items, vintage gardening things, and then they've got this collection of clothing from, I think it's called A Simple Land. She goes to the brocants, and it's gorgeous. It's all this gorgeous pale linen. It looks gorgeous, and this shop in Baslow sells some of the items, but it just looks a lovely shop to have a little mooch around. And that again is that's a bit further. That's it's the other way. That's Derbyshire, and it's probably about an hour away. But I'll see. I'm definitely going to Knutsford though. But to be honest, I think depending on the weather, a bit of gardening. There's always something to do in the garden. I'm not that keen on gardening. I like a garden. I've put pictures of the garden up on Instagram, and it's a very small garden, it's tiny. And I do like a garden, and I like flowers. I like the business of seeds, and I'm a bit lazy about potting on, but I do like the business of seeds, growing things and flowers. There's no structure to my garden at all. What you see is what you get, kind of a thing. And I don't dig, and I don't like getting dirty. So it's all a bit. I just go out there and faff, really, which is what I do best. And so there'll be some of that to do. And if it ever stops raining, I mean, we've been praying for rain, but it just doesn't stop. It's rained every day now for about a week, and I think, oh, stop. But the garden has plumped up nicely, and the grass is greening up again now. Yeah, so there'll be that to do. But just, I don't know, I like my own company. So that's on. I was going to say that's on my needles. It's not on my needles. So that's the garment I'm sewing at the moment, and I've got another 2 meters of linen. This one I think is called Meadow Sweet. It's green and pink. I have actually made a dress out of this before. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might make a camber. I don't know. Although I think the Merchant and Mills pattern called the dress shirt, but I've only ever seen that in plain fabrics. I'm not sure how it would look with check. So I'm going to have a think about that one, but that's my next sewing project, I think. And also I am making a little bucket hat for my grandson, and I'll show you the fabric, because it's reversible, and I'm using a pattern it's a paid for pattern, and you download it. Sorry, I'm trying very hard not to move. And it's 10 Berries by Victoria Zook. And the beauty of this pattern is it's all sizes up to adult, from baby to adult. It's great. And if I can show you without giving too much away, just show you the pictures. There are photographs as to how to do things rather than drawings. But it's very easy, and it's reversible. So you have 2 fabrics, and the 2 fabrics I've chosen for Ted are this one called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's got all the planets on it. That's the top of the hat. So that's one. It's reversible, so you can use. And the alternative side are, and I think these are signs of the zodiac, aren't they? The constellations. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So I've got those. So that's all cut out, ready to sew. It doesn't take long to do. It's fiddly, but it doesn't take long to do. And you download it and then cut the pieces out. but the sizing is the head circumference. So hopefully this will fit Ted. So that's one thing to finish. And I made his sister a little bucket hat out of some fabric. I think I put it on Instagram from I'm the Kitchen Knitter on Instagram. I made it out of Acufactum fabric. I mean, their subscription had little fairies on it, and it was lovely. Well, not the fairies, but those little characters that have like an upturned flower on their head for a hat and things. You know, just ever so pretty. So that's my sewing. I've done a bit more in the embroidery. I took it out. I unpicked an awful lot of it because I just wasn't happy with it. But I've started putting a few more bits on, and I'm not quite sure if I had done the basket when I showed you last time. And this, I don't think me having my craft light on overhead is very helpful. Let's turn it off. And oh, I don't know. I think it's because it's just all the greens at the moment on there. And this is a kit from, or a project from the Stitchery, and that's what it should look like. So I've got a bit more to do around the wreath, the little pink dots. I think they're sort of like petals and things and fronds, and then I've got to practice to do that because that's a stitch. I think it's seed stitch, and I haven't done that before, but it'll look very pretty. So that's what Midsummer Blooms it's called, from the Stitchery. But I haven't got, I don't know what I've done with it. I haven't got the main cover where it all comes bound with this beautiful vintage ribbon, and you get all the threads. The only thing you don't get is the needles and a hoop. And these are the threads. I don't know. You can see sort of greens and pinks. Gorgeous summery colours. Lovely. So that's the embroidery, and I need to start making some bags because this is getting it. I've got it in a bowl, little rope bowl from Jewels of So Sweet Violet. You see there, and it's got Liberty sort of sewn in on some of the ropey bits and on the bottom there. But this is getting a bit dusty, so I'm going to have to make some. I've got plenty of fabric. I watched a tutorial from Ellie from Craft House Magic. She's just recently put up a tutorial as to how to make one. Those with the clear fronted bags, and I've got all the stuff. I just need to sit down and cut them out and things. But it's got a zip in it. Anyway. So that's the embroidery, but I'm going to stop unpicking things. I'm just going to go for it, and I do look at it really closely. I scrutinise my work, which I don't think is very helpful. So right, I'm having a bit of a love-hate relationship with my cross stitch. I've got two on the go, and you've seen them before, but again I unpicked it all and I started again, and I've got this one, which is, I'll show you the chart. It's from the Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs, and I'm doing this one here, and there's some lovely things in. I mean, I would love to do that one too. I'd love to do that, and this as well. There's some gorgeous things in there, and because it's autumn, I'm thinking I might have this finished. Anyway, Spell of the Moon it's called, and it's there, and it's only 3 colours. I thought that would make it a little bit more manageable, but this is all black. Yeah, it's called it's black coffee. The thread is called black coffee. So I pulled it all out, and what I also did was I cut down the fabric because it was all getting tangled up. As you can see, I use a hoop, and all the fabric was, I was sewing through the spare fabric. It was a bit frustrating. So I've started again, and I've started at the bottom. And so this is the base of the tree, and this is the house. This is the sort of, so if you, that's not very helpful. I've started this bit here, and I'm doing this bit here. And it's proving not difficult, but to be able to see, because the call for linen is 32 count tin roof, Weeks Dye Works. And I haven't got that fabric, but I did have the thread. And the closest linen I've got was this one to tin roof, which is, just drop my threads, which is, I've kept it on the 32 count saltbush. So, and these are the threads. Like I say, there's only 3, and black coffee, classic colour works, black coffee, pelican grey, Weeks Dye Works, and this is Harvest Moon. So there's there they are. And there's when it's on the linen, there's not an awful lot of difference between these two. So I definitely have to sit in a good light. I definitely have to use my magnifying light. But I'm not scrutinising it so much, so that I will just do it. And that's how, I think that's how I learn, really. I mean, I've done cross stitch in the past, not an awful lot, but I like the look of the cross stitch on linen. I think it looks lovely, and I want one of these bowls, you know, with the smalls in, and that's what I'm concentrating on at the moment now, is the smalls. So that's Spell of the Moon, Blackbird Designs. Oh, creak, creak. And the other embroidery I've been doing, and have left it in the hoop, which is not good, is Elizabeth's. I always want to say Elizabeth and her dogs, 4 dogs. It's Elizabeth's 4 dogs. And this is by the Scarlet House. And the call for linen was Sleeping Bear, but it was 40 count Sleeping Bear. So I did have some Sleeping Bear. This is it's this beautiful pink, pale, very pale, pinky beige. And but I'm using it 36 count. I mean, I'm not sure what difference that makes. Does it make it smaller? I'm not sure. I'm still learning. Again, you see, I've got a lot of spare fabric here, but that's what I've done so far. So, and some of you might notice that, because if the light is good, is that I've used 2 different coloured browns for the dog. The dogs should be in, it's the chart, it's the round one, Wagon Wheel, which is, these are the, see, I need to make myself a thread bed too, because I've got all these threads. I house it in one embroidery bag I bought from Davina, Little Workroom Crafts. This one, and this one here, Little Workroom Crafts, lovely roomy bag. That's the label, and they do get tangled up, so I need to keep them separate. However, these are the threads, and that's Wagon Wheel, which is what the dogs should be in, but I've done one of the dogs in chestnut, hazelnut, in that one. So, just my mistake. Whether I unpick it and start again, I don't know. I'm carrying on because I unpicked the little topiary tree at the bottom. I unpicked that because I didn't like it. It looked untidy, messy. I mean, it's hard to show in a hoop, isn't it? Because it does sort of distort it a little bit. But anyway, my needle minder is from cute little cakes, Choppleview Crafts. She makes them by hand. So, and those are all the threads. I'm not sure if you can see. I'm by the window, but the sun's gone in now. I might put the craft light back on again. This is the, unfortunately this is quite a dark room. It's the back of the house which faces north, so you don't get a huge amount of light. I might put that light back on. So that's my Elizabeth's Four Dogs Scarlet House on Sleeping Bear. So hopefully I'm getting into the flow of cross stitch, but I'm going to stop scrutinizing it too much and just do it. So I think that's all the stitchiness. So I think I've told you before, I'm in a subscription club for, it's a Liberty one. I think, is it called the Party Stars? Anyway, I've got this month's, and you get 6 fat quarters. All sort of curated to match. So when I've got 12 of these, I shall think about what I'm going to do with it. It's kind of like I'm saving it all up for a particular project. I'm not sure what. But it'll be like a winter project. I'm not ready to start cutting into this yet. I think I'll wait till I get some more fat quarters. I've got, I think where am I started it late, so I think I've got 6 now. I think I've caught up, and I've got six packs of these. So by December I'll have plenty. The other subscription club I'm in is the Stitcheries Accufactum Club, and you get 4 fat quarters. I think they're fat quarters. They seem to be quite generous, a month, and this was this month's sort of a pink and green theme. And I mean, this one here has all that. This would probably make a nice project bag, wouldn't it? Because it's got all the scissors and threads and things like that on it, with and then a contrasting fabric, like maybe that. Oh, see, that's a pretty one too. So that's my subscription. That's the Accufactum one. And I went on, I buy a lot of my threads and charts and things from Peakside Needleworks, which is, it's local to me, it's Glossop, but it's not a bricks and mortar shop, it's just an online shop. However, they're brilliant, and you can order it one day, and I have known it come the next day. So I went in, I wanted some threads for a particular project which had been sold out, so I was keeping an eye as to when they were coming in, and well, I saw these and thought, so I bought Autumn Cottage. I thought, well, if I start that now, well, not today, but now, roughly, I should have that finished by the autumn. So there was that one. I've got a couple, and you know, the autumn one from Blackbird Designs, and this one, Scattered Seed Samplers, and I thought that just was really pretty. And it was, they're all in, these are all in DMC threads, whereas Plum Street is Weeks Dye Works and One Classic Colourworks. And this one, Stacey Nash Spring Basket Keep. I thought that was so pretty that I had this in my favourites because it'd been sold out for a while, and then it came back in. All those gorgeous colours. Lovely. So I bought that. Now the one thing I have to do is to draw a winner for this. I bought, by mistake, 2 of these. And I mean, I haven't got that many charts that I shouldn't have made that mistake, but however, I am now, I've written them all down. I tried to do the random. So I've written them all down. As I thought, for fairness, I'll write them down as near as I could to the to when the comments came in. So the first comment and then through. So I've got them all written down, but I'm going to go and ask our friend to draw a number. I'll leave the door open because we've got an Alexa in our bedroom, so I will go and ask her. See what she comes up with. Excuse me. Alexa, choose a number from 1 to 29.
It's a number between 1 and 29. It's 18. By the way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
No. Right, so she chose number 18, which is sewing room secrets. So if you contact me on my email, I will send this out to you. If you send me your address, and I will post it out to you. As soon as you send it to me, I will post it out. If you could send your contact details to just your address, name and address, to susiebeans@btinternet.com, and that's all lowercase, and it's Susie, Suzie, and Beans, Beans. susiebeans@btinternet.com. I need to learn how to write words on the screen because that would be useful in this case. But thank you for entering. Thank you all for entering, and thank you for your lovely comments too, and thank you for subscribing. I've had a few more subscribers. I need to. I say this every time, but I'm going to try and come on more often and not worry about how much content I've got. I'll just show you what I've been doing, and just keep it going from that. And I hope to put up a knitting podcast next weekend. I think because my sewing room will be decommissioned, then it will be there won't be lots of knitting, but I will have something to show you. So I leave it there. Thank you very much. Bye.